What's up, guys? Today we're going to have a conversation using our normal verbal contractions.
Yeah, in our last video we talked about some of these really confusing things that we do with combining sounds. So as we're talking, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put up our contractions on the screen so you guys can see them as we go through, so that you guys can have the kind of visual representation. But again, like we said in our last video, these are not things that are normally written. We would normally write these not contracted, but we say them contracted. So today we're going to practice this by just asking each other, what have you been up to recently?
Lately, because we live in the American South, we have a lot of tornadoes in the spring, and it is spring, so even last night there were tornadoes ripping across our state. So dodging tornadoes, that's what I've been up to most recently.
Yeah, it was really weird because you were like in a class and it was like, hey, just so you know, there's a tornado.
Yeah. Things might get cut off, the lesson might get cut off, the sirens were going. Yeah, such is life in the American South.
The tornadoes, that was weird. But other than that, what have you been doing recently?
I've been creating lots of curriculum content and the verbs course in Fluency Fast Track. We're going to have 2 verbs courses to start out. One of them is going to be like a crash course in bringing everybody up to speed to the high intermediate level of English verbs. And then the next one's going to be focused on pure advanced verb grammars in speaking and writing. That's been taking the most time for me lately.
Yeah, this verb course, it's a beefy course to try to be able to put all that content, because verbs are heavy in English.
And this is the number one problem for most people. If it's not articles or prepositions, it's going to be verbs.
Yeah.
So definitely takes a lot of attention as a teacher to build that very slowly, and we've been doing lots of recording for that. It takes a lot of time, but it's well worth it. But my busyness in that is keeping you busy as well, right?
Yeah, I've also been adding content to Fluency Fast Track, but it's been kind of spotty sometimes just because of how crazy it can get sometimes with tutoring and other things that are going on. It's good, but my pace is a little slower than yours.
Well, you've got the heavier stuff. So you are doing all the editing for the audio and the videos and YouTube. Yeah. And then you're also writing a speaking challenge course. You've got your hands quite full.
Yeah.
What about outside of Fluency Fast Track?
Yeah.
What have you been up to in life lately, other than tornadoes?
One thing is we've started homeschooling. So we've been able to doing kind of back and forth, kind of tag on like doing stuff with the kids. So the other day I was with our kids out in the backyard and we made this like trench system with water. We like dug a trench with like little tiny hand shovels and like poured water. It was really great.
Our kids loved being muddy all day.
You were in a class and then like I like brought our daughter in and I was like, hey, look at our daughter.
She was so muddy, but she was so proud of herself. I think that's the muddiest she's ever been.
I think so.
Yeah, like I don't think we've ever let them just play in the mud that much before. So you are their favorite right now, I'm sure.
That's homeschool, right? That counts?
Sure. Yeah, we'll call it art. Engineering, right? We're starting engineering.
Absolutely is engineering.
Locks and dams coming next week, right?
Absolutely.
When I've been doing homeschooling, I've been working with the alphabet quite a bit. Our son knows the alphabet really well. For him, it's just putting lots of magnetized letters on a metal tray, and I mix them up, and I ask him to put them in order. And he'll sing the alphabet song and put them in order, which is great for a 4-year-old. That's fantastic. Our daughter is learning them. She knows most of the letters, but she hasn't gotten to the point where she can just take them in from a disorganized place and put them in order. So she just recognizes the individual letters and she knows ABC and she knows XYZ, but getting all the rest of them together is not quite there. So I'm working on the alphabet song because that will help her put things into place better. And colors. We do a lot with colors and numbers too. Numbers for our son, colors for our daughter.
It's pretty interesting to me because we did a video recently about passive vocabulary versus active vocabulary, and I feel like that's very much like where our children are in their stages right now, where like they both can recognize the letters and recognize what they are, but our son is able to actually actively use it, draw some of the letters, and be able to produce it, while our daughter is not quite there yet because she's a little younger.
But she knows what they are. She knows what
Right.
we're talking about when we say K. She knows exactly what we're talking about. She can even point it out in books and in words. But for her to take it from all the letters on a sheet and put it together and like find K, that's what I'm working on this week. And I think she'll be there in the next couple of weeks because she was doing a really good job of finding the letters, which I was kind of surprised, actually. Of course, there's no organization yet. She doesn't fully know the song. It's just kind of P.
So other than homeschool, tornadoes, and Fluency Fast Track, has anything been going on?
Not really. I'm getting pretty excited for spring and starting the gardens. Again, I don't know if we're going to plant a garden and it end up being tornado or a random hard freeze that often happens here in the South. Like in April or May, early May, sometimes we just get this random hard freeze after it's been hot and sweaty for a while. So it's just like, there's crazy weather here.
Yeah, being able to just get out and just do something a little different.
Yeah, work with your hands, be outside in the sun, play in the dirt, teach your kids how to plant seeds and take care of them so that they can see something grow. I think right now they're at like the perfect age for getting excited about that kind of thing.
Honestly, right now, excluding the tornadoes, it's like the perfect weather. It's about like 40 degrees Fahrenheit at night, but then it gets to like 70 degrees Fahrenheit during the day. So it's like perfect. No mosquitoes or not many mosquitoes yet. So it's just,
yeah,
beautiful.
It's front porch swing weather right now. What about you? What are some other things that you've done lately or started up lately?
Well, I've started up a starter.
Whoa.
A sourdough starter.
Okay, I was going to say, you're going to define that?
No, I've been getting into bread making a little bit more because it's been so tasty. I made some pita bread, naan. I don't know. It was good.
I don't know. It's somewhere between like pita and naan.
Yeah.
It was really good, though.
It was so good. And we put like eggs in there and salsa and, it was so good. So tasty. I think I love it for two reasons. Right. Number one is that I like get to have something working for me in the background. So like I'm like doing something over there. Yeah, it's always like working itself over there. But number two, I can replace something that I could buy at a store.
Oh, yeah.
Very cheaply.
Yeah, in America, our bread is not like in many other places in the world. Like in Europe, for example, you have fresh bread bakeries just all over the place. But over here in the States, I mean, you go to a store and you buy a loaf of bread in a thing of plastic that will last for like 2 weeks and still be just as soft as the day that you got it, assuming no moisture gets to it. Moisture gets to it, it'll mold. There's just something kind of not right about that.
Yeah.
So, and there's like 14 things in the bread and it's supposed to be plain bread. So when you make something like starter, to us, it's just like amazing because it's like
fresh.
It's fresh and it's something that you make every single day. You have to. And so we're sharing fresh bread goods with people and stuff. It's really good.
And what's crazy is that I bought it recently, and for a 25-pound bag of flour, it was $12, which is actually...
It's higher than it's been.
It's higher than it's been, but it's a lot cheaper if you think about it in terms of like bread loaves.
Right.
$12 for who knows how many loaves of bread.
And muffins and pita and all this
stuff. All the great stuff.
All the tasty things. So, yes, I've been greatly enjoying that. And our kids have too. So that's like now. So what will you be doing next week?
Next week, I hope to have the speaking challenge done, and so that we can do some recording and editing for that. I have a lot of editing, like you just mentioned before, and then I hope to be able to kind of make a schedule so that we're not having to eat tons of bread by ourselves.
Right.
But we can hopefully give some of that bread away, because making bread every day is a lot.
It's a lot of bread. Yeah.
Our small family cannot eat it all. What about you?
I will be working more on that verbs course, getting it done and out on Fluency Fast Track. So there'll be a lot happening this next month. I'll also be just teaching. We'll both be teaching and working on our lesson plans and doing all the normal things and homeschooling our kids more. I also want to get out and enjoy. Like, I just want to take a day to go out and hike or do something before all the mosquitoes come, before the weather becomes super hot and muggy and miserable.
Yeah.
That is the normal American South summer. Between tornadoes, ideally, I want to go hike and just enjoy a day out as a family.
So that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for listening and trying to listen out for those contractions. We didn't try to plan. We didn't try to stuff this conversation full of these contractions. this is how we speak. This is how American English really sounds.
And we're honestly, not many of us are really aware of when we're using contraction. I wasn't aware of every single contraction I used. But also, there are some things that we say in the Southern accents that we don't say in Northern accents or Northeastern accents or California accents. So this is something to be aware of also. Sometimes we don't understand each other's contractions because they're regionally based. Ain't is a good example, and y'all for the American Southern accents, which we do not use as much because we are English teachers. But when we are speaking with our friends and family, yeah, of course we use those things. Of course we use y'all. Ain't is one of those that we've, I think, trained out pretty much.
Yeah, ain't's on its way out the door.
For us. It's not out of the door for everybody, though, in the area. So if you ever come to the American South, not during tornado season, you will hear probably ain't and y'all quite a bit.
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening and staying tuned with us here on Bible Friends English. We hope to catch you on the next video.